The CDC says to stop eating your placenta if you want a healthy baby. It may seem like a bizarre diet, but some people, including celebrities such as Kim Kardashian, believe eating placenta can speed up postpartum recovery and restore youth. However, U.S. health authorities are saying people shouldn't do this, as it may put their babies at risk of infection. The placenta is a fetal organ that provides oxygen and nutrients to babies, and removes waste products from the baby's blood. Some people believe consuming the placenta has physical benefits, as the organ is full of blood and hormones. One way placenta is consumed is by being dried and ground into powder, before being ingested in capsule form. Medical experts warn the placenta can be full of infectious agents, such as Group B Streptococcus bacteria. Taking non-properly sterilized placenta capsules could increase an infant's risk of contracting such a bacterial infection, which could lead to infection in the lungs, brain, blood, bones, and joints in newborn babies. Placenta eating has been promoted for years, even though there are no medical findings to support the so-called benefits. Still, people believe in this diet and have even developed recipes to prepare the organ, such as placenta spaghetti and placenta roast. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Infections can easily be passed to babies through their family members.
Birth defect that causes intestines to protrude from the baby's abdomen on the rise in the U.S. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, incidents of a birth defect called gastroschisis, which is a defect in the abdominal wall, are on the rise in the United States, especially among African Americans, and health officials are struggling to understand the cause. From 1994 to 2012, the CDC has documented a 263% increase in gastroschisis among babies born to Black mothers under the age of 20. When a baby is affected by gastroschisis, the intestines and sometimes also organs such as the liver and stomach protrude from the abdomen through a hole next to the belly button. In the U.S., about 2,000 babies are born with a birth defect every year. Although the condition can be life-threatening, it can often be remedied by surgery in the weeks after the baby is born. Even after surgery, however, some infants can have problems eating and digesting food, increasing the risk of problems such as stunted growth and malnutrition. This is because the organs have been irritated by exposure to amniotic fluid in the uterus. Although researchers do not know what causes gastroschisis, they suspect that a mother's diet, consumption of tobacco, alcohol, and medicines, exposure to toxins, and sexually transmitted diseases during pregnancy are all factors that could have an effect on the development of an abdominal wall defect.
How the Zika virus infects the placenta. Researchers claim they have discovered why the Zika virus infects unborn children via their mother's placenta. The placenta usually sustains the fetus, providing nourishment and defending it against infections. However, in the case of the Zika virus, a new study has found that the placenta appears to enhance the disease's growth. Emory University researchers found that the Zika virus infects immune cells in the placenta and replicates without killing the host cell. From there, the virus travels deeper inside the fetus, eventually infecting the unborn child. What's your take? Do you think this discovery is going to help us combat the virus, or is all already lost?
Court dismisses case of child with fetal alcohol syndrome. A 7-year-old girl who suffers from severe brain damage because her mother was drinking heavily during pregnancy is not entitled to compensation. The highest court of appeal for England and Wales has ruled fetal alcohol syndrome may be triggered if a woman drinks alcohol excessively during pregnancy. The fetus can absorb alcohol flowing in the mother's bloodstream through the placenta. Children suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome have distinct facial features, including small eye openings, a smooth philtrum, and a thin upper lip. Different parts of the brain, including the corpus callosum, cerebral cortex, basal ganglia, hippocampus, and cerebellum, are poorly developed or damaged at the onset of the syndrome. Fetal alcohol syndrome is a lifelong condition. The decision by Her Majesty's Court of Appeal is significant because it ruled that the fetus is not a person, so grievous bodily harm cannot be inflicted on it.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Grandmother feeds deadly bacteria to 2-year-old baby. In Zhejiang, a 2-year-old baby girl was checked into emergency services vomiting blood from a severe ulcer. How does a baby get an ulcer? Particularly one so bad that she begins puking blood? It's definitely not from excessive alcohol, coffee, or smoking. This adorable little girl, nicknamed Dolly, spent most of her days at home with her grandmother. When her parents brought her to emergency pediatrics care, they told doctors that Dolly was usually a happy, cheerful baby who had a good appetite. But earlier this month, things changed. Dolly became fussy and often twisted her little body as though she were in pain. She ate very little or refused to eat at all. When her mother prepared her a bottle for bed, Dolly took a few gulps, then promptly threw it all back up. Her mother tried giving her a little water later, but Dolly threw that up as well. This time her mother noticed that the vomit wasn't a milky white, but a deep, dark, reddish brown, so her parents rushed her to hospital. At the hospital, the doctors diagnosed Dolly with the Helicobacter pylori, a clever bad bug that can survive in the acidic soup inside our stomachs. It will produce ammonia to protect itself from the acid until it is able to burrow its way into the stomach lining. Doctors asked that all the family members be tested for the bacteria, and it was only after they found it in Dolly's grandmother that she confessed that sometimes she would feed chewed up food to the baby. Dolly will have to spend a few days in hospital, but the bacteria can be cured with a heavy round of antibiotics.